Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Well, today we are reviewing the new cigar from Casa Cuevas. This is an interesting cigar in this background. This is the La Mandarria. Comes in one size, 6x52. Notice two things: the nice little pigtail cap and the unfinished foot. Look at that. There's your density. Has a pretty good feel in the hand. Interesting cigar because of the way it came about in 2019, just prior to the IPCPR Trade Show. Casa Cuevas announced they would be coming out with a cigar called the La Mandarria because earlier that year they were the victim of a robbery. La Mandarria in Spanish means sledgehammer. And it's what the criminals use to get into their warehouse and steal a good chunk of their inventory. So in order to commemorate the resurrection of the company and the fact that they weren't going to let this event get them down, they created the La Mandarria. Now, this cigar uses an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Dominican binder, and Dominican and Nicaraguan filler. Comes in one size, 6x52. Very interesting looking cigar. I personally like looking at this type of cigar. The unfinished foot is just amazing. Now, I would expect a flavor change from here to here and something taking off different from that point. I mean, it would only make sense. There's no wrapper here. You can see it's just binder. So let's get right to it. The new Casa Cuevas La Mandarria. Now what we're going to do, and it seems shameful, but I'm going to take off just at that pigtail, just below it, just like it's sitting there. I'm going to take that pigtail off. Just like that. There it is. There it is. That's where it was. The draw was good. Yep, the draw was fine. Basically what we've done is we've lit the filler and the binder, and you'll get a unique flavor from that because the wrapper is out of play. It's quite tangy and sweet, sort of like a citrusy cedar, some brown sugar, cinnamon, a very earthy nutmeg at this point, very earthy nutmeg, and a lot of black coffee. And when the wrapper comes into play, I expect some changes, and I will hang on here and give you those changes when we get there. But well, perhaps I'll come back. But that's how you start, and it will change here in just a couple minutes. Well, I'm about 7.5 minutes in. You can see just the tail end of what was remaining of the binder only back there. It's sort of burnt a little bit off, but what you have now is the addition of leather. Quite a bit of leather notes is what I've noticed that this particular wrapper gives it. So that's what you have after you go through the unfinished foot. The other flavor notes are in play. So what we're going to do is let it continue on. And I'm going to even out the burn a little bit. Try to let it burn itself into an even burn, and we'll see you at the first third. are at the first third. And one thing I didn't mention in the initial light up was the black pepper is very good. It's about 7.5. Now here the flavors are still a lot like I described. The citrusy cedar has just moved back in the pecking order just a little bit, bringing out more of the leather and the very pasty now nutmeg. It's very thick paste of nutmeg, leather, and earthy black coffee. It's just shifted just a little bit. Those flavors just came out a little more. The front end sweet flavors are still plentiful, but they just had to just sidestep just a little bit to let those others come in. Medium, it's medium bodied right now. I don't expect that to change, to stand, but it's medium bodied right now. The finish has quite a bit of that pasty nutmeg, some of the hints of the cedar citrus and leather, with very decent amount of lingering black pepper. The cigar is very good. It's interesting. There's a lot of pasty, leathery notes in the cigar, but the sweet flavors are holding their own fine. It's a very actually it's a little different than the cigars I've had lately. The combination of flavors make it such and make it interesting. It's 94 for the first third. I'm interested. So let's see what happens. Transitions into the second third. Well, we're finished with the second third, and the cigar is changing a little bit. The sweeter notes now more of a cedar and brown sugar and a little bit of cinnamon. The pasty nutmeg and leather and black coffee have risen a little more. So it's sort of a little bit more, we'll call those the darker flavors. But the citrusy cedar is now more of a cedar. So that's a definite difference. Low grade, medium to full bodied, it's just not that powerful. With a name like the Sledgehammer or La Mandarria, I expected it to be very full bodied, and it's not. The finish is about unchanged. It's not enough to talk about. But the cigar is still good. It's just, as many do, it's changing a little bit here in the second third and getting a little bit darker. I'll use that term because the coffee notes have really come out. And with it, the leather and the nutmeg sort of rose too. 92 for the second third. But it's still very good. And I'm interested in what we have in the final third, because that sort of is going to tell the story. We're down to the end, so let's wrap it up. Here at the end is definitely cedar. Sort of a dry cedar, actually. Brown sugar, cinnamon, the nutmeg. The leather actually decreased a little. And a black coffee base. Medium to full. That's as high as I think it got. Finish seems to have some of that dry cedar on it. Nutmeg, touch of brown sugar, and some nice lingering black pepper. So the cigar changed a little here in the final third, but it didn't really improve, so I'm maintaining 92. Still not bad. But this is a different cigar for Casa Cuevas. I've had the Maduro, I've had the natural, and this is definitely a step out of their normal production, and it's good. Overall score is 92.67. So well worth trying. I suggest you try them. Try these Casa Cuevas cigars. The Maduro was really good. I remember it. And only 500 boxes of 20 of these were produced. Now they're out there. You can find them. That's only 1,000 cigars. So you need to grab a couple and give it a try. Might love it. You might want to buy a box. So there you have it. The new Casa Cuevas La Mandarria, the sledgehammer, 92.67.